Good. I'd like to call to order the monthly meeting of May 27th, 2025 of the Public Safety Committee. Turn the microphone on. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Adam, can you do a roll call for us?
Yes, sir. Captain Chevalier,
Here, sir.
Chief Malott,
Here.
Chief Mall,
Here.
Chair Bercuda,
Here.
Vice Chair Greenwald,
Here.
Committee Member Roden, here, and Committee Member Hazelton does not appear to be in attendance right now.
Got it.
Is he coming?
Tom is not available. He's absent today. Got it. Okay, let's go to first order of business is minutes from last month. Take a look at them. See if you have any.
Move to approve.
Can I second it if I wasn't here?
Please. Why not?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor of approving, say
I
aye.
have one thing, 10C,
Hold
just
on.
minor. It says Captain Malott, and then the second, it's not bullet point, but it says discuss pontoon boats. It was Ponga boats.
All good votes, okay. Let's change number 10C to Chief Malott. Thank you. And we're gonna, in response to the committee's question, Chief Malott discussed the Panga boats rather than the pontoon boats. Any other changes? No? So we hit them. Moved and approved. Thank you. Pending those changes. Any oral or written communications that we have online here? Nope. Seeing none. Go to Sheriff's Department performance measures for fiscal year 2025, quarter 2. If you could.
Good morning, everybody. Captain Chevalier, Chief of Police Services for the amazing city of San Clemente. One quick adjustment, I did quarter 2 last meeting, so I have quarter 3 prepared if needed.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So quarter 3 is going to be January, February, March of this calendar year, or quarter 1 of this calendar year. So it depends how you guys want to do it.
Great. All right.
Perfect. So for the months of January, February, March, just a couple updated stats. We had a total of 5,758 calls for service. 3,533 of those were assigned calls, or people that called in dispatch, and the other were observed, which equates to 2,225. Total arrests were 241, 119 of those being for felonies, 83 for misdemeanors, and 39 for warrants. Our priority 1 response time did go down to 4 minutes and 38 seconds. I believe that's a decrease of 13 seconds from the last quarter. Our total traffic accidents totaled 87. 40 of those were included in injuries and 47 were non-injury traffic collisions. Total citations issued were 2,160. 1,702 of those were parking. 386 were moving violations. 59 were criminal cites and 13 were for equipment. One notable arrest that we had for the first quarter of this year or third quarter of the fiscal year included a stop by our deputies in which they located narcotics on the subject. This information was provided to one of our narcotic enforcement teams. The result of that was a seizure of multiple pounds of fentanyl, 7 firearms from our residents here in San Clemente. That'll be it.
Nicely done. Thank you. Any other traffic things like the flock license plate reader? How's that going? Any notable things on that?
I can honestly say that we use that on a regular basis, and between our Flock City cameras and our partners in Dana Point and San Juan Capistrano, that work collaboratively with each other, and we're able to put and catch a lot of criminals and also assist in retrieving a lot of people that go missing.
One thing for sure, you're not gonna run out of them.
No, sir, they're not.
They're not. Any other questions for
That's
the
great.
Sheriff's Department?
Great response time, chief.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Super.
Chair,
Yes.
a resident has come into the meeting, who wanted to speak at oral communications, that arrived just right after that item was open. So it's up to the committee if you'd like to reopen oral communications at this time.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to speak, sir? Please.
Yes, I would.
State your name and let me know.
Okay, George Gregory, North Beach resident. I'm here because of this church thing that's going on at the beach here. It's been going on for several years. This isn't the first time it's been complained about, and this isn't the first time it's caused a problem. And when the council gives it a permit to continue the problem and to solve the problem by simply just rubbing money on it, they're playing both ends against the middle. The middle is our health and safety, the citizens, the community of North Beach and San Clemente. This has got to stop. You need to communicate with your council and tell them to stop it. I don't care if somebody comes up with a peanut butter diploma saying they're going to sue us because we're being cruel to church or something like that. That church is a for-profit church. It runs a daycare, so it doesn't want the homeless around its church because it affects their daycare business. They don't want it around their church because they don't want to affect a few of the local neighbors there. What they'd rather do is have it on the beach and affect the whole community and cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. It's got to stop. If you understand, they give permission to the people to bring the homeless to the beach, provide and enable them, and we have to hire rangers, extra sheriffs, etc., to handle the problem that they created by doing that. Those are the two ends. Who's in the middle? So we need to stop this somehow. Because if a citizen gets hurt, well then you've got a real lawsuit because the city allowed it to happen. So please, I know people are afraid to go after people who invoke the word of God. But I know I'm a Christian warrior, and I'll kick your damn ass if you do something to me, and it's happened several times at North Beach. It's got to stop. The people I ran into, I can't imagine what they would have done to my mother. Okay? That's going to get a response that's not kind. So the thing is, these people aren't kind, and we're concentrating them there, and we're bringing them there, and we're providing for them, and we're enabling them. And the council didn't help by giving them another permit because it got threatened by the peanut butter sandwich lawyer. So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we have the same group of people who go around parading around that they are more righteous, they're more God-worthy than the rest of us. We need our health and safety, sirs. So please pound on those people because I just see the writing on the wall. Thank you for your time.
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
You certainly can, sir.
Because this is vague, there's no specifics on here, and I'm looking for North Beach being where? At the restrooms at North Beach?
Basically, yes.
And are you talking about first thing in the morning or all day?
They do it on Sundays. It's a Presbyterian church. And they have what they have is clothing and food for these characters. And the problem is they wait around days for this to happen. Not to mention we have the 91 bus that drops off at the 7-Eleven. I'd love to move that bus stop. I think just a couple hundred yards one way or the other would change a lot down there. We don't deserve it all the time at North Beach. So the thing is because they're running their daycare, they don't want to take a shot in the fiscal arm per se, because they got a bunch of homeless hanging around. So what do? They affect our property values, our health and safety of the general community. And this has got to stop. This isn't the first time. I've been around here a long time ago. Every couple of years this comes up. And the council, because they love of people, love of God, all that, rub more money on it. And that money could go to better health and safety, more fire trucks, more police officers, more Christian warriors, whatever. But the thing is, we have better things to do with our time and money than to placate that dozen people that are always down there breaking the law and breaking our banks. I don't know how to be more articulate about it, and that's why I came in here to talk to you folks instead of council. Because I think council's daydreaming most of the time when I'm talking to them. It's gotten to be a terrible problem. And what's resolved is outreach people, park rangers, extra sheriffs. We even had a security guard for a while. Comical. More and more money. Just rub money on it. It'll go away. We can't meet our obligations as it is. And we're spending more and more money. So the thing is, there's got to be a better way to do this. And part of that is taking away that permit. Tell them if they want to do homeless outreach and provide for these poor souls, that they need to do it at their church. It's a church thing, do it at the church. Don't do it on the beach. I don't have a car mechanic shop on the beach. So, it's a bizarre attribution to, car mechanics and God, I guess. The thing is we can't go on this way because the coffers are limited and they have better uses. We need to stop this behavior because they're down there providing for them every day. Okay, there's people who open up their trunks and hand out food and stuff, and who knows what else they're handing out. But they're down there. And most of them are civilians, so they're hard to recognize. They don't have the big van with the church thing on the side, but they are down there all the time. So we need help down there.
If I were to want to witness this, is there a specific time that I could go down there and actually see this operation?
In my observations, and I've been out of town a lot lately, but in my observations, it's usually in the afternoon. After lunch, in the early afternoon, into the evening. But part of what you also need to witness is what's going on with the 91 bus and how it seems it doesn't really disgorge citizens or community, but disgorges homelessness and hopelessness. So there's a lot going down there, and it's hard to catch. Because sometimes it's only 3, 4, 5, 6 guys around a car. What's going on here? Well, they're getting food handouts, they're getting clothing handouts and stuff, and that enables them to live on the beach. Okay, I'd love to live on the beach, but I know I'm not supposed to. So, anyways, we need help down there. Like I said, when you allow it here, and then you pay to handle the problem, we're actually subsidizing this church way more than their daycare is bringing in. Way more than, I don't know what kind of grants or what other kind of shenanigans they're pulling. But the thing is, they're trying to protect one business by creating another business and expanding their boundaries. And I live in North Beach. Basically, that's my front yard. So we need some help down there, sirs.
Got it. Any questions?
Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Great, understood.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your input.
Twice, George. Where we got voted down 3-2 when we tried to stop that meeting.
I know you did.
Okay,
Well, we'll keep working. We got some other plans. We'll just keep on going with trying to do.
Chief Palat, are you prepared?
Good afternoon, Rob Malott. Right in front of you, you got
See
the
you, George.
Q2 performance measures. This is the second slowest quarter for us. And even October is way low on numbers, and that's because of the Army Corps engineering project that went on during that time. But it's pretty straightforward. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
How you doing with staffing?
Staffing? We're doing well.
Good.
Yeah.
And you inherited a couple more towers to replace some broken down towers?
We had 3 built this year. One's at Tower 1, first tower on the south side of the pier. One's at T Street, and one's just south of T Street at Tower 7.
I saw them constructing them. Now, you did out of wood versus plastic or aluminum or some metal type thing. Preference being obviously wood.
Heat probably too.
Yeah, the fiberglass, a number of years ago, I think in 2005, we ordered one fiberglass and used that down at Lost Winds, and it was not an ideal tower for someone sitting in basically their office for 8 hours.
A bit hot.
One of the biggest lifeguard agencies along the coast is LA County, and they have wood. The cost for fiberglass is $57,000, and we got those built for I think around $46,000. And the towers that have been replaced were built in the early to mid '80s, so they last a long time.
Yeah, good. How much maintenance does it take to keep those going for 30 to 40 years?
Well, if it's done on a normal basis, they'll last.
Okay.
Yeah, just routine.
The city does the maintenance on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to clarify. So you got multiple of them done for cheaper than one fiberglass one costs?
One fiberglass, the one that we would need, the bigger one, not the ones that you see at State that are the small ones, would be $57,000. And one tower, one wood tower costs us about $46,000.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said you had multiple built for $46,000. I got you. Thanks.
Just a question for you regarding 3 years from now with the Olympic type thing. Down at Trussell, even though it's not in the city of San Clemente, nor is it in the Orange County, how does that affect your operation, or what are your planning for that?
Well, I think the city's forming a committee for that, but for us, it'll just mean more crowds down at the beach and people using the water. So we'll just, continue doing what we do. Just make sure we have the proper staffing, so we know the numbers that we need. So I think we'll be in good shape.
Well, the reason why I ask is, what do you need to plan now for them? Because it takes a while for government to be able to come up with it.
I have 3 new towers being built next fiscal year and 3 the following year. So outside of that, if we need to add, there's always potential with the OCTA project. They're adding 240,000 cubic yards at Mariposa Point. So there may be an opportunity that if that sand sticks around, we may have to put a tower out towards the point at some point, but or add more towers. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Super. Any questions for Chief? No?
That's right.
Okay, good. Any new business? I don't see that at this point.
Can I ask a question for new business?
Oh, please.
The OCFA Heroes Dinner, or whatever you call it, is Friday at Irvine at 6 o'clock. And the city has purchased a table, and a few people that we thought were going to go are not able to go. So we'll know the final like this afternoon. I know Nick has expressed maybe interest in attending. Either one of you.
What? This Friday?
This Friday.
At what time?
At 6 p.m.
No, I would like to, but unfortunately
Sure.
I have something else
I'm
going
out
on.
too.
Okay, so I'll put Nick down as then we'll put this together. So, all right.
That's good, because he's the tip of the spear, so that's good that he's there.
But
Okay,
he's the
put it
tip
down
for
there,
sure. appreciate it. I don't know, Rod, you want an extra ticket to go, like, listen, get plaques and hero stuff, anything? I know the chief doesn't want to go because he's tired of seeing all the plaques go to the fire department.
True statement.
Hey, well, if we get down to it, there might be some firefighter opportunities also. I mean, don't
Thank
want
you. At the table.
empty table, yeah, or not. And we've got like 7 people so far, and now I think we got 8, so we're getting there.
Oh, good.
Well, I'll let you know this afternoon what the scoop is.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman. All right, now then the work plans. Start with communications and disaster preparedness. Let's see. I don't have anything new. I attended the monthly meeting of the Orange County Emergency Management Organization with Director Tanian. And got some, and that particular organization is the community managers from all the different cities and entities. And it's good to see who those are and establish some relationships there. So it's always good. And they move it around from one city to the next so that you get an idea of what their city is like and how they treat their folks too. So, okay. Okay, homeless and best practices. Anything from that top part?
No.
Nothing on there to report. Neighborhood Watch.
Neighborhood Watch. Ryan continues to expand the Neighborhood Watch network. Unfortunately, he had a meeting planned last night and he had to cancel it because everybody was out partying. So, and so he's working on that. It's kind of tough right now because they've got people on vacation, graduation, and everything. His biggest problem is, hang on one second, just scheduling days. He's trying to get at least 2 meetings per month and 5 to 6 home assessments. His numbers are really good. I don't know, I really applaud your department on your school program with the Escort to School. I think it's wonderful that it's helping the churches and the schools raise money, and it's one thing the kids actually look forward to seeing the police. And I just got my hats off to you on that.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. And also, I think you're going to try to schedule an open house here in the building, right?
Yes, sir. Don't want to spoil it too much, but it will be open house and there will be delicious food at this event as well.
Good deal. All right. That's it for Neighborhood Watch. Ryan's doing a great job as always.
Good job.
And Adam, I got one question. We approved some money, and I don't have the work plan here. I'll try to find it at home for promotional items for them. And Ryan, he's kind of out of stuff right now, and he'd like to access that money. How does he do that?
I can work with Captain Chevalier, Ryan, and figure out what the request is, and essentially it's just a matter of invoicing and paying that invoice. So I'll work with OCSD staff to facilitate that.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. That's it.
Good. I don't have anything on statistical information to review at this point. Human trafficking. Michael?
Yeah, I reached out to Stacy, and she's going to get back to me on if there's anything we can help them with.
Good. Haven't talked to, got to see how that goes. So there's always something going on with that.
Yeah.
Okay. E-bike and traffic safety. I picked up some information from Lori Davis's office. She sponsored a couple of bills. Assembly Bill 544 would require all e-bikes to be equipped with front and rear lights so that pedestrian, motorists, and other riders can fully see the bike coming and going by them. Assembly Bill 545 would outlaw third-party applications, manufacturers and developers from selling applications to riders that would jailbreak or rig e-bikes into going faster than what is allowed under state law. Because you can change the electronics on those things.
Yeah, as we discussed, I mean, good on them for doing that, but that second bill is kind of pointless in the sense that you don't even need a third app. I mean, most of these kids around here, they know that if, each of them have a little computer thing on there, you trick the bike into thinking you have a different diameter size wheel, it automatically changes the who's its and the what's its and the zigs and the zags, and it's able to go much faster than it does. So you don't need a third party app, it's already there.
Yeah.
It should have included language like that to where, I mean, on no planet am I going to put a 20-inch wheel on my bike that has big 26-inch wheels, right? But if you trick the computer into thinking that, it changes what the governor allows.
Right.
So you're 30 miles an hour down the road if you want to be.
Yeah.
Without touching it, just like 30 seconds playing with the keypad. So.
Electronic thing. Anyway, at this point, the Assembly has passed it, both of them, and it's been referred to the Senate. It's awaiting policy committee through the Transportation Committee, and they were referred on May 21st. So keep an eye on those. That's what's going on with e-bikes at this point. Technology review, I don't have anything that's doing great.
In terms of technology, where are we at with the loudspeaker sound system type thing?
The siren system that like Laguna Beach has.
Yeah.
Well, city manager knows about it because he went on a tour with it, and so it's just very, very expensive. So it's like, what's more important, rocks or siren system at this point? And the city council has to make a decision one way or the other on it. So,
Maybe the new director of public safety will be able to do that.
maybe
When do they start?
that's up to the city.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'll have an update on emergency management,
That's what it's called.
park rangers, and some other public safety related things. But to answer that question, there is no specific public safety director position.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke. The title you gave it, what was it called again?
Emergency manager?
Emergency manager, yeah.
Yes, that would be handled by community development here in the near future. And I believe that the sirens is one of the items on our local hazard mitigation plan. So that is something that is contemplated, dependent on funding.
It'd be nice to find a grant for that, right?
Yep.
Park ranger program, I don't have anything on park rangers. Do you have anything, Michael?
I see them out all the time. The uniforms look great. It's really good that somebody's watching the parks.
At the beaches, or whatever.
Yeah, I concur. The high visibility, and
Yeah.
we haven't had any crazy stories of weird things happening
No.
with them not being there. So I think it's
No.
hard to prove a negative, but I think it's working very well.
They seem to be really dedicated.
Yeah, I think got a good program going. We just have to see if we can enhance that, and keep it going, right?
Absolutely. I do have an update on some past committee recommendations that went to the city council regarding the park rangers to get protective vests and pepper spray. The vests are currently being ordered. We're in the
Got them
process of.
today.
We got them already?
today, yes.
Oh, wow, okay. So they've arrived, and the Rangers are in the process of doing training for the pepper spray, in which case they will get that issued to them as well.
Anything on the software for data processing?
Yeah, so that is a program that we definitely want to go after. One of the things that the city is doing right now is updating its website. Part of that new website comes with a new complaint portal that will encompass more than what our current complaint portal handles. And we want to see how that program works out and how to integrate the park rangers with that before we introduce a different program that may not play well with that new website portal.
You want to be compatible, so it's transparent on the.
Exactly. We want things to speak to each other so we can gather the best information possible.
And that's prudent. So which one comes first, the city's system and then finding something compatible?
You know, the new system doesn't necessarily need to come online, but there's some outstanding questions about how those two programs can work together. Once we answer that and know that Watchtower, which is the program that we discussed with the committee a few months ago, once we know that those two programs can either work together or won't be detrimental to the use of one or both of them, we could start moving on getting that program.
Okay, so we're continually working, that's still a desirable thing to have.
It is considered still in process.
Gotcha. Good. Reports from committee members of the staff. We'll start with Chief Chevalier.
And to quote Elizabeth Mitchell, our city attorney, I have nothing to report other than it is a pleasure to serve the residents in the city of St. Cloud. I believe she sits here during council meetings.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, sir, you can.
The big deal.
You gotta put 4 quotes around it.
4 quotes.
You sound much more
What
sincere.
a guy.
I'll tell you that.
What a guy.
You say it with more panache.
Much more authority.
All right. Nothing new, nothing other than your stats that you came through, and we'll talk about stuff. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Chief Mull, Fire Department.
Should I go over some contract amounts, like Andy always does?
Sure, yeah, go over all the contracts we signed.
We've had some contracts this week. No, sorry. We've been to too many council meetings. No, for most CFA, we're just prepping for fire season. Crews are out doing their annual training right now, their hands-on training in the classroom portion. So everybody's pretty much ready for that. All of our units and everything are ready. The Camp Pendleton Fire School that was supposed to be next month, that I mentioned last meeting, sounds like they are canceling that because nothing's going to light off quite yet. They did a test burn and the brush isn't dry enough to burn, which is good news for the moment. So it sounds like we're going to be canceling that, which is a bummer for all the crews doing their training, but good news for where we are currently as far as where fire season is. And thank you to the city for being at we have our best and bravest this Friday night, so it should be a really good time and good food and whatnot. So thank you very much for coming. And other than that, no major incidents within the city over the last month or so. It's been a lot of incidents, but nothing too major, which is really good news, actually.
Yeah, that's important. Not a whole bunch of sick people, accidents that you respond to,
Lots of that.
e-bikes.
Lots of accidents, lots of sick people for sure, but no major fires or anything. I believe we've had a couple e-bike incidents. We did have one decent crash the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it was an off-duty firefighter that was first on scene, and that was unfortunate. But the person seems to be doing okay, but just a bad crash.
And unfortunately, we'll probably see more of it.
Yeah.
Chief Malott, Marine Safety.
Good afternoon. So we're in full summer swing with the Memorial Weekend. It's Beach Safety Week, ended today. Kicks off the summer. We're open until 8:30 now from 8 a.m. to 8:30, and it was great to have the beach patrol, OCSD deputies out on the beach. They started their beach patrol this weekend, so it was great seeing them out there. Since our last meeting, we've had 186,000 beach visitors. Since the last meeting, we've had 6,135 incidents. Lifeguards rescued 106 swimmers in distress. 59 of those rescues came from the holiday weekend. 1,561 preventative actions, 3,442 public education contacts, 74 medical incidents, 1 ALS call with OCFA response, 952 law enforcement contacts, and OCSD requested 4 of those times. 4 stingrays, 16 encampments reported. Staffing levels weekdays right now we're at 10, and weekends we're at 22. And summer, first day of summer is June 6th. As far as the surf and weather, we've had a great swell for the last month in the 3 to 5 foot range. Monday was amazing down at Lost Winds to surf. Water temperature in the last month has ranged from 59 to 69. So Mother Nature's taking her course, and right now the water temperature is 69. The OCTA project, they finished up last week on Thursday with Area 1 and 2. They placed 5,500 tons of riprap, so they're done with all the work on the beach. They are going to remove the laydown area at the North Beach parking lot. It'll be reopened by early next week, and they'll be working on Area 3. And also looking for the sand source to place the 240,000 cubic yards of sand. Special events, lifeguards managed 9 special event permits and 1 commercial film permit. And starting June 9th, and there'll be 6 beach contractors working on the beach, so the beach will start going, and our junior lifeguard program starts on June 16th.
Ocean Fest,
Yeah, July 19th and 20th.
expect a whole big crowd on that, for sure.
Yeah.
Understand the t-shirts are out there to be sold.
They were there this weekend.
That's it. Good. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging in here and doing it. Really appreciate it. It's from my little standpoint. Thank you for doing it. So, committee members, Michael?
A few things. Every day before I go to the gym, I stop by El Portal Stairs just to grab some really fresh air and a great view, and maybe to do the stairs once or twice. And an amazing number of people ask me, what's going on with the bridge? Is there any update on the bridge?
Yeah, the bridge was removed. They call them spans. They removed on April 28th, that first week. And the bridge will not be replaced. They'll be putting a 1,400-foot catchment wall where the bridge was inland from that. And then the trail will be the same existing trail that will go all the way through.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it's I believe it's an 8-month or 9-month project from start to finish. So you're looking at January, February.
That's great. That's great. Also, I got my fire insurance renewal, and it had gone up like 60%. And so I figured, okay, I'll look out and find out if there's other options. And 2 companies would not insure me, and I asked them why, and they said because of the City Hall property south of City Hall there is a fire hazard, and they wouldn't even write the policy, which go wow. And I guess it's just not cleaned up enough. So just a point you might think about there. Also, I'd like to thank Natanya and Adam and the staff for a nice birthday card. Thanks a lot. That's all.
If you turn 60,
What?
you turn 60
I had my 50th anniversary.
of 60?
No, because I'm still 29. So I refuse to believe I'm 79, so I just had my 50th anniversary. Thank you.
You're my oldest friend, Mike. I mean, literally, my oldest friend.
Both sides.
It's a hard act to follow, let me tell you.
Yeah. A long time ago, Rick.
Do you have anything to add?
I just have a question. I just want to clarify. So where the bridge was, so they're going to build like a retaining wall, we'll say on the water side of where it was, and then fill it in, and it's just going to be the
No, on
walkway
the east
over.
side, just kind of like Casa Romantica down below. There's
Okay.
a catchment wall there. It'll be the same way,
Uh-huh.
but it'll be on the inland side
Okay.
of where the bridge was.
All right, and then the path will just be over the dirt that's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wonder regarding the design of that catchment wall, if it's some point it's going to load up and overflow. I would think, just the way nature is. Between the hillside and the catchment wall, is there a distance there for some capacity, or is that wall going to be right up against the hillside?
I don't know for exactly. I believe I've heard it's going to be 14 feet high,
Right?
but I don't know all the specs on it.
Okay. Well, fortunately, we're not paying for it.
Right.
A couple of dollars there. And when will the train be going through?
June 9th is the projected date.
Wow. City staff, Adam.
Yeah, a couple things. Let's see, the first, in response to committee member Greenwald's issue about the City Hall property, the city's properties are cleared on an annual basis by our weed abatement contractor. There's a few reasons for it. That City Hall property is actually two properties. The property with a structure on it is required to provide defensible space around that structure. However, the property that's between where the old City Hall is located and the residential units above it is technically a vacant parcel, and that is cleared at the recommendation of OCFA for providing defensible space from adjacent or properties on adjacent or structures on adjacent properties. I'll follow up with the weed abatement contractor about that specifically. We're in the process currently to clear all of these lots, so it may have been a different insurance quote if it had waited about a month or so. But I'll follow up with them on that. In response to some of the public comments that were received during oral communications, just for the committee's information, there were a number of things that were discussed, but some of the specifics were related to some church groups that meet down at the beach in North Beach. There's two distinct types of events that occur. One is a morning Bible study that happens most days of the week, and that group is small enough that they don't require a special event permit. However, there were some concerns related to public feeding in public spaces. The council looked at an ordinance a few months ago, and that ordinance was not approved by a vote of 3-2. Kind of on a similar timing track, there was a special event permit, a recurring special event permit issued by the Beaches Parks and Recreation Department for specifically a Sunday service, which has been occurring for decades. And that item was also looked at as far as food being served, and again, the council determined at that time to approve the permit, but did not include any additional restrictions on feeding. The park rangers are in that area quite frequently. They're aware of these events. They do follow up to make sure that there's no litter or refuse, but as far as providing foodstuffs to some of the participants, that currently is permitted. What the resident was also talking about was just the general, I'll say, usage of the area by various individuals around the city. I know that the park rangers and OCSD are aware of the activities that are down there. Both groups are addressing the situation as often as possible, and I know that issues are being resolved. It is a high traffic area. He makes a good point about the bus line. That could be something that city staff could look into, but that's generally a function of where OCTA wants to place those routes, especially with the stops being located as close to other types of public transportation, such as the Metrolink line, to further incentivize the use of public transportation. As far as the park ranger program goes, I am still in discussions with the city manager on how to better align them within the city's public safety services, which generally are handled under the city manager's office. So that continues, but I anticipate that they will be not within the community development department in the near future. At the last meeting, I updated the committee on the emergency management function being assigned to the community development department. Once that occurred, we put out a recruitment for a new emergency management specialist position, and I'm happy to report that Rachel Perez, who has been to some of the prior council committee meetings, was the successful candidate in that. She is currently working on a lot of the administrative tasks of moving that function out of Public Works and into community development. At the same time, we are working on a number of grant applications right now with the focus primarily on wildfire preparedness and prevention. So we've got one that's due at the end of this week under the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program to carry out one of the mitigation actions of the Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. And OCFA has informed us that there's another opportunity that's opening next month, I believe, and that is the Fire Risk Reduction Communities List grant program. And that one is specifically targeted to help communities reduce their fire insurance risks. The fire prevention and all of those things are similarly trying to target that, but the ultimate goal here is to prevent wildfire spread within the city. So those are some of the things we're working on.
Any update on Mike Kay's GOAT program?
Yes. The city has had a number of discussions with internal staff and HOAs related to what I'll call an overwhelming interest right now for more GOAT programs. We're looking at, I'll say, extending the GOAT program currently. However, the pilot program was provided without cost to the city by Mr. Kay. If the city wants to engage in a service ongoing, we would need to go through some type of RFP process for that. But that is something we're currently working on and looking at the options. I will say that after talking with a number of potential providers, Mr. Kay's approach does seem to be very inclusive of what could become community concerns with these types of GOAT programs. And so with council direction to look for local vendors as a preference, we definitely anticipate some opportunities that Mr. Kay could capitalize on to assist the city with that.
Good.
As far as the goat grazing, one of the grants that we're applying for this week does include a potential for goat grazing in the coming years. The HMGP grant program is a really good funding source. It's from FEMA, so we don't know what the future of that federal department looks like, but for the time being, there appear to be some funds. The only issue with that is that while there's a potential for up to $50 million per project, those types of grant applications generally take a bit of time to vet, and so the funds for that would not be available until mid-2027. So the city's looking at interim funding solutions to maintain a GOAT program between now and then. Or if the grant is not successful, we'd be entertaining other grant opportunities to assist.
Got it. Well, let's see, we're down to adjournment. Any other, for the good of the cause, any other comments? No? All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our regular meeting to Tuesday, June 24th, 2025, 3 p.m. at City Hall Council Chambers. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We adjourn.